Hey, folks. So I was talking to Brian, who's my production associate, production manager at Greenleaf, my publishing house. In fact, here's Brian. Say hi, Brian. That's Brian right there. Off his website. I don't necessarily carry a picture of you around, Brian. Anyway, Brian touched base with me last week, and one of the questions that we had to resolve was what genre my book was going to be. And I got to tell you, I'm a guy that never thought the word genre would be associated with anything that I did in my life, but that was the topic of the day. And specifically, what I learned is one of the first questions that they have to address. And for some books it's simple, and some books it's a little less simple. Is how are they going to pitch this book to the retailers that they'll be selling the book to? And basically, the question is, where within the bookstore is this book going to be located? Now, for some books, it's probably really obvious, like a cookbook or a travel book. With my particular book, which was written, it's really written as a memoir, but it also is presented in the form of 25 lessons. So the problem with memoirs, as I understand it, in the world that we live in, is there's an abundance of them out there. Everyone's got a story. And the second thing is, for me, the second thing is I'm not a well-known celebrity. So if I was, Derek Jeter or someone of celebrity status, you could put my book in the memoir, biography memoir section of the bookstore, and it would probably do, I don't want to say it would do well, but it would probably make more sense. But I'm not a celebrity. So Greenleaf's read is we're probably better off to put my book in the self-help section of the, or pitch it, I guess I should say, pitch it to the retailers as a self-help kind of book with a subcategory of inspirational. So, it just kind of raises an interesting question of where books are positioned. We can call it whatever we want, we being my publisher and myself. Ultimately, the retailers can put it wherever they want as well. There's certainly plenty of books. One of my favorite books in the last couple of years was something called The Middle Place by Kelly Corrigan. She's a breast cancer survivor. And funny enough, her book, in the very back, if you look on the back, it was in the genre memoir. But if you find this book, you'll find it every time I've been in a Barnes and Noble or a Borders or an independent bookstore. I always find it in the inspirational self-help kind of stuff. So it's really just and when I talk genre and this kind of stuff, it has nothing to do with what the Library of Congress, how they, in the first few pages of the book, when there's a Library of Congress designation, it has nothing to do with that, and it has nothing to do with the ISBN, which is the International Standard Book Number, which is a whole nother thing we'll get into. That's kind of the barcode stuff on the back. So this is just how we're going to pitch it, how we're going to categorize it in our upfront marketing efforts to the retailers. The other thing I learned too is that bookstores, and I'll use Barnes and Noble or Borders as an example, they have buyers. There's one buyer who they would pitch, if this was categorized as a memoir, there's a buyer that handles all the memoir buying for their respective stores nationwide. There's another person who handles the purchasing of self-help. And maybe there's even a subcategory person who handles inspiration. I don't know that, but the most important message is there are different buyers for retailers who purchase on behalf of that retail store a particular genre. So part of our decision of how we're going to classify this also is impacted by, I think it's impacted by who Greenleaf, who's my publisher and my distributor, thinks they can best sell this title to, and I'm talking who, like a specific person, a specific buyers, and what they're buying. So, bottom line, after a lot of discussion with Brian, and following their recommendation, we're going to categorize this as a self-help with a subcategory inspirational. long way of saying it's a little schizophrenic, but that's what we're going to be. Have a good day. More to follow. The next one we got to tell you about is, does size really matter? And I'll explain that next time. See ya.